Welcome to the Pathways to Surrender podcast. I'm Michael Warmoth, and thank you for joining us for this guided meditation. Let's take a moment now to just get settled in, get comfortable and relaxed. Maybe close our eyes and take some breaths and just listen to the music before the meditation starts. We often hear in the world of spiritual teachings, spiritual knowledge, the terms light and darkness, that the spiritual journey is one of moving from the darkness into the light, that we are light and that truth is light, and that suffering and struggle are darkness. We can think of the way we live when we are trusting only in the ego and control as living in a dark place. We have shut ourselves in, blocked out the light, so that we have something that we can control. This box we have shut ourselves in is an imaginary box. But it feels real because it is an energetic process. The mind has created a state of being that makes it seem as if there is no light. There's only the darkness of suffering. and struggle. But that box does not exist on its own. It is surrounded by light. It exists in the light. But we have chosen to only be interested in the box. The box is the ego, the identity, that which we can control, that which we believe, choose to believe, choose to hold as true. What we don't allow ourselves to know is that the light is all around us and in us. We're not separate from it in any way. The light, of course, being the truth that we are actually beings of light. We are creations of light. Light being the energy of the creative power of love as expressed by the infinite consciousness, the one consciousness, the one true mind. In other words, right now, you are a being of light, an expression of love, a creation of a divine consciousness. That light is all around you and in you right now. There is no darkness. That is a creation of our will, our ability to choose what we think is real. There is a big difference between thinking what is real and knowing what is real. In the darkness, we can only think about what is real. In the light, we know what is real. If you can imagine you were in some beautiful place in nature, but you were trapped inside a box, only darkness. You could only imagine what is real outside of you. You could not know. Your mind would come up with all kinds of fantastic ideas about what was real outside of you. And you would think that what was really real was that there was only a box, and that was what you lived in. All the time, paradise would be all around you. You would be in the middle of paradise. That is what we do when we choose the ego and the identity, when we trust and control and refuse to surrender or let go. You could consider it the choice between darkness and light. Our challenge on our journey is to make a different choice, to realize the box is not real. It has no actual reality. And so, when we hear the difference between light and dark, which do we prefer? Which do we want? Which do we desire? It seems hard to believe that we would choose darkness, and yet we do, because we think that's how we stay safe, how we can keep control of things. We want the light. We long for the light. But we are afraid to leave the box. We are like a prisoner who has been in jail for so long they prefer to be there than free. We all long for the light deep within ourselves. The light calls to us constantly. It is our authentic and true self, our true nature, calling us to remember who we are, to become a free and full expression of who and what we are. That is why when we hear about the light and the darkness, we know that light is what we want. But we feel somehow unable to leave the darkness. The purpose of our spiritual practice and our journey is to wake up and become conscious of what we are choosing. There is another aspect to the light and darkness metaphor, and that is when you have been in complete darkness and you go into bright light, you are blinded, overwhelmed by it. It's not good for you. If we were to drop the ego and our trust and faith and control all at once, surrender completely, we would be overwhelmed. Our journey is one of growing into the light. It is not one of instant transformation. That may come at some point, but it can only happen when we are ready and willing. We don't want to be blinded by the light. We must be patient and compassionate and understanding about the process. We are completely immersed in light, in the truth. It is the only reality. We must build our faith and trust in that truth, step by step. In so many cultures now, instant gratification is a requirement. We want things to happen this instant. We're looking for the easy way, the painless way. And yet, we are still suffering. We continue to choose the darkness. When we devote ourselves to this journey, we do experience difficult times. We are choosing to face things that we had decided long ago that we would never face again. We are making the difficult choice. But compared to a life of struggling and suffering and darkness, we will see that what we have to face is no more difficult than anything else we've lived through. We have just protected ourselves from it. It is as if we had a belief that the light was dangerous, that we had to protect ourselves from it, that we were better off without it. But we know that's not true. Within us, that is known. We know the light is the truth, and the truth is what we want. And so, let us acknowledge our longing for light, for the lightness of the truth, for the peace of the truth. Let us remember that that is what we want. And let us remind ourselves that control is not the answer, and that the fear of letting go of control is not a realistic fear. It's just an old habit, and that no harm can come to us by surrendering and letting go. It is okay for us to choose the light. It is the right choice if we want peace. Thank you for listening. If you would like more information on these meditations and teachings, you can visit pathwaystosurrender.com. You might be interested in our other podcast, Pathways to Wholeness. These are episodes of meditative teachings designed to help us move to the next step in our journey, letting go and learning to surrender, overcoming resistance. That's Pathways to Wholeness. Look for the next episode soon.